two old guys and their records, one old guy for now whilst in his lockdown restrictions continue. Mike and I decided to press on and provide everyone with some fun segments about our passion for our records. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and keep those comments coming through because we love hearing from you and reading your comments too. Okay, this week we've been looking at our favourite 7-inch EPs, 4-track EPs, which were very popular in the 50s, 60s, and a little bit of the 70s. We've had some classics up to this point. Okay, and today's episode is a gem. Okay, this artist was a child prodigy. He had his first #1 at the age of 13. He had hit after hit after hit after hit. He revolutionized the organ synthesizer in the 1970s. Okay, his CV is so long that I could be here for episodes. I'm talking about none other than...
Baby, everything is all right.
That's right, I'm talking about Stevie Wonder, and I'm taking you back to 1967 and this Australian pressing. Okay, so it's got some classic songs on here like Uptight, A Place in the Sun, I Was Made to Love Her, and the Bob Dylan classic Blowin in the Wind. But before I go on to this EP, let's have some context about this amazing child prodigy and star. It was Ronnie White of the Miracles who took Stevie Wonder to Motown, and the CEO, Berry Gordy, signed him up at 11 years old, only 11 years old. He came under the wing of Clarence Paul, who was a producer and songwriter, and his first album, Little Stevie's first album, was called Tribute to Uncle Ray, mostly covers of Ray Charles, and there was an original with Clarence Paul in there too. Then there was the Jazz Soul of Little Stevie, an instrumental album, mostly written by Clarence Paul, but there was a couple of co-written ones there too. There was a series of non-hit singles. At 12 years old, he joined the Motown Revue, the Chitlin Circuit, and there was a live album recorded at the Regal Theatre Chicago called Live Album 12-Year-Old Genius, and there was that hit single from the album called Fingertips. Okay, so he had a #1 at the age of 13, okay, and also #1 in the R&B Billboard. But the thing is, his voice was breaking, so there was also a series of non-hits, and Gordy was worried that Stevie Wonder was no longer a commercially viable artist. What I love about this EP is the way it documents Stevie Wonder's transition from Little Stevie, that novelty, you know, the little kid with a harmonica that's cute, to a very young, mature Stevie Wonder. Okay, so the tracks, 4 tracks, come off 3 different albums like Uptight, I Was Made to Love Her, and also Down to Earth. Okay, so it documents that whole transition period, right, from 1965 to 1967. Okay, now don't forget, like I said, okay, the CEO, Gordy, was really hesitant about Stevie Wonder. Did he have it to have that transition? So he was very hesitant in, you know, continuing with Stevie Wonder. But lucky Stevie Wonder had, you know, his mentor Clarence Paul, and there was also a lady called Sylvia Moy who sort of asked Gordy to give him to persist with him and give him a second chance. Okay, and they wrote a song called Uptight. Okay, Uptight. Now Stevie Wonder had opened for the Rolling Stones for a few of their gigs on their American tour. So he wanted something very satisfaction, right? Okay, and you know, Sylvia Moy helped him out to write this song Uptight. And it's driving, it's very poppy, okay? And it shows that, you know, Stevie Wonder didn't mind mixing that African-American Motown with something a little bit more poppy, okay? So that was really cool. Okay, there's a great story that, you know, they recorded it so fast that they didn't have the braille for Stevie Wonder, and, you know, Moy had to tell him, you know, the lines, and he had to sort of sing them by memory type thing, okay, which is an amazing story. Okay, so Uptight, about a young man who wants this, you know, upper class girl to accept him for who he is despite his poverty. So you've got that angle too, which is a great song. Okay, now we move into A Place in the Sun, and I think this epitomizes Stevie Wonder shedding Little Stevie, because this song is not a pop song, it's actually a serious song with social commentary, okay, with, you know, him talking about everyone deserves a place in the sun, you know, moving on, okay, overcoming the adversities and the challenges to find our place in the sun. So it's actually a really, really cool song, okay, about a young man who is maturing and has got this mature outlook in life. And then you got this love song, I Was Made to Love Her, okay. Even his mother gets a credit on this song, which is great. I thought that was fantastic also, okay. But the most interesting song on this EP is, of course, the Bob Dylan cover version of Blowin' in the Wind, okay. Now this is not a cover version from another white type of band, okay, or singer or artist, okay. This is from an African American. So when he says, in how many years can some people exist without them allowed to be free? This is an African American saying it. So, it resonates a lot stronger. I love everything about this version because I love the piano. The piano adds to it, okay, which is quite good. A lot of people have said that, Stevie Wonder sings it in a way, it's more of a statement rather than a question like Bob Dylan. Like Bob Dylan has this mystique and mystery about, what he's singing, but this is more direct, okay, which is fantastic also. I think, like I said, Blowin' in the Wind, there's an interesting story about another version recorded in 1963. So this song was already on Clarence Paul or Stevie Wonder's mind, okay, in doing it. So maybe at 14, his voice was, not suited for the song, so it was scrapped and it was done a few years later, okay. But it does come up in one of those lost tapes or lost sessions of Motown, okay. So that's interesting that it was thought out even as early as 1963 by Clarence Paul or Stevie Wonder. And Clarence Paul said, many years later, why the choice of song? Okay, because he says Stevie Wonder, always had a serious outlook about social issues, okay, and social injustices, okay. So it was always there. So there you have it. An up-tempo, very Motown-ish sort of influence on Blowin' in the Wind. Great song. So what an EP. You've got pop song, pop rock, whatever it is for Uptight. You've got social commentary, A Place in the Sun. You've got this very Motown-ish soul song, I Was Made to Love It. And then you've got this classic cover version of Blowin' in the Wind. All KILLA, no filler. Stevie Wonder, what a great EP. Now tell us what you think, okay? Have you heard the songs? Have you heard this EP? What do you think of Stevie Wonder? Don't forget to give us your comments, okay, on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Like us on our Facebook page. Keep those comments coming in. We've only got one more episode in this segment of Great 45s, and I'm sure it's going to be a classic. I'll see you tomorrow.